never, ever fuck with an antique state.
Hello and welcome to the show. On this week's show we're going to be discussing the masterpiece that is Dracula 2000, directed by Patrick Lussier, French-Canadian director who's known for such amazing movies as the sequel to White Noise, My Bloody Valentine 3D, Drive Angry. He was also the writer on Terminator Genesis. And,
The Prophecy Tree.
The Prophecy Tree. It's not a great selection of movies. Really.
Well, how bad he's still making movies, isn't he?
Yeah, unfortunately. It's well for people who the people that seem to be involved with Dracula 2000, a lot of them seem to have been involved with the Prophecy Tree. I think Scott Derrickson. Do you know who Scott Derrickson is?
No, tell me who Scott Derrickson is.
He would have done, remember Sinister?
Oh, okay.
And The Black Phone.
Oh, okay.
And the Black Phone sequel, which is coming out soon.
No idea.
He apparently was involved in writing with it. The whole production of Dracula 2000 was meant to be a bit of a mess. They wanted to go for a kind of a vibe of... what was it, Dracula 1974 or 1979, the really bad Hammer
horror.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
one apparently, and as well it was like produced by Harvey Weinstein. So and fucking what's his face is in it, the guy that was in that 70s show.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So a handful of very delightful people altogether.
Yeah. But we won't talk about any of that because we're talking about the movie and not about predators that might have been involved with the making or the production of the movie.
And as well, Jerry Ryan was in this as well, 7 and 9, and I seem to remember something, again, this is allegedly, she had a really weird husband that was basically kind of semi-abusing her as well.
Really?
I think he was the one that was forcing her into all these mega sexualized roles, and yet almost very, I don't know, prim and proper at all. I don't know, he just basically turned her into his own play doll. I don't know.
Oh.
This is something I read a good while ago and I'm only half remembering it. So
This is Jerry Ryan the actress and not Jerry Ryan the old Irish DJ. Yeah. But there's a fucking weird casting. Jeez, I didn't know that about Jerry Ryan at all. Although I only ever saw her in this and Voyager.
Yeah.
That I'm aware of. I don't know. I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
Yeah.
But there was a fairly big cast of people that would have went on to become famous and people that would have been kind of, I suppose, household names in the early 2000s.
Yeah, or at least household faces, if not household names, the likes of Omar Epps.
Yeah.
People probably would not recognise his name, but it's
he's in a ton of stuff. He was in a load of stuff. Jennifer Esposito, I just remember her from Spin City. That was a sitcom no one seems to remember, and that was massive. That would have been like Cheers, probably late 1990s. It was massive. It was Michael J. Fox vehicle. It ran for fucking long
and yet
time.
I never watched a single episode.
Yeah, I looked at bits and pieces, and then there was that other fucking thing as well. Caroline in the City. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, and again, never.
She was an artist or an illustrator or something.
Yeah.
I remember looking at one or two, and I was like, "This is definitely not for me." I think, but that seemed to run forever, and it was really big. And then the thing that I still can't remember the name of the show, there was that fucking awful thing that had David Spade in it.
Oh, Mad About You? Is that it?
No, that was awful too.
I know the one you're on about. I can't think of it.
I think it was either a newspaper or some model agency or some fucking bullshit like that.
There's a lot of those kind of series. There's the whole Sex and the City, and there's that other one. What was that fucking law firm one with the dancing baby and what's her hit?
Ally McBeal.
Yes,
yeah. I think I've only ever seen 2 episods of that as well, and that was no.
Yeah, not for me either.
No, because it was people. It's so wacky and it's so, and it's just no, it's just awful. But yeah,
anyway, yes, we're not here to talk about other awful shows. We're here to talk about this awful film.
But the Johnny Lee Miller was in it, who was Sick Boy, and he's particularly awful in this.
Yeah.
So it's a real mixed bag of people, and like people who quite possibly should have been good. Like Jerry Ryan is awful in it as well for the brief amount of time that she's in it. He is just terrible. He just shouts the whole time. He's always like, "What's going on? Why are we doing this?" Ah! And like it just makes no sense. Like, this is one thing I would say about like the movie that we're talking about, because we're just talking about the people in it, Jeff. We haven't even really talked about the plot or anything like that. I suppose we should say before the Dracula in it is Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, Gerard. He's Scottish, Gerard Butler.
Yes.
He's pretty cat in it. You can barely even hear him speaking in it. Whatever was going on with the sound mix, or maybe it was him, but it was just, I'm Dracula.
Yes, I think he was probably doing an intentional kind of I tried to be mysterious.
Yeah, I'm Dracula. I think it was either his first or second movie role. Ever. I think it was his first big role and stuff.
And all he seemed to do was like lurk around looking a bit kind of creepy. Yeah, and that was it. He's
a fucking pervert and a horrendous pervert. He's just like Googling at women going, oh. And like the one, I suppose we'll get into the fucking plot. The plot of the movie is that
it's Dracula.
Yeah, Abraham Van Helsing is living in Carfax fucking Abbey, or he's renting it out, and he's an antiques dealer. 100 years after he was supposed to die, and he's like going under the name of Frank Van Helsing or some shit, and he's got Dracula trapped
basically
in a coffin because
away.
It's like he was like, oh, I have discovered you can't kill him, and it's like, all right. Yeah.
Was I dreaming, or was it the fact that he actually had a drop of Dracula's blood in him?
He had a load of leeches with Dracula's blood because he was like, if Dracula can't die, I won't either. And it's like,
but that's what I'm saying. Was he taking like the blood out of Dracula and sort of
he was
having a bit of it himself, but not quite?
He was shooting himself up with it.
Was he?
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's what he was doing at the start. Yeah, I think you were on your phone or something at the start, and like we've seen this numerous times.
That'll tell you how well it kind of comes across with the storyline. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, the story doesn't make too much sense, but it's fun, I think. I do actually genuinely think this is a fun movie. As bad as this movie is, it's actually a fun watch, and there's like a lot of potential in it, wasted fucking potential in it. But anyway, Christopher Plummer Van Helsing, he's got Dracula stored in his fucking basement at Carfax Abbey. Someone that's working for him just happens to be connected to a international gang of thieves
and vampires.
Yeah, who think that he's got gold, and so they break in. They unknowingly release Dracula over New Orleans.
Yeah, they're on a plane flying away with this precious cargo. Yeah, basically just trying to get in, but none of them seem to notice that any of the blood that lands on this coffin seems to get sucked
into it. Yeah, but and it's a bit like the Monster Club, or not Monster Club, fucking the Monster Squad, with the whole thing with Dracula in the back of the plane and falling out of it. But the Monster Squad actually do better. Yeah. But yeah, he fucking falls in New Orleans, starts causing chaos, turning people into vampires. He visits the Virgin fucking record store about 50 times, where
somehow all of the employees are like in the film and all that. You know, it's like seems to be a real promotional vehicle for Virgin.
Not so subtly, kind of like, you know, it's Mary is Van Helsing's daughter, and she doesn't realise that and like Dracula's going after her because she's kind of his daughter as well, because she was born with his blood, which was like the first vampire to be born ever. So he's like, so she's like meant to be the Virgin Mary, which I think they have it all kind of wrong, where it was like, Mary wasn't the one that was born. It should have been like, he should have been working in like, she should have been called Jesus. Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so it's like trying to mirror, I suppose, the old story between Mina and...
But like I said, plenty of free advertising for Virgin Megastores.
I don't think it was free. I would imagine that Virgin Megastores paid for this movie to be fucking, because there is even one bit in it where there's a fight between a vampire in the car park, the underground car park of Virgin Media.
Yeah, and there's a big huge van with the fucking logo right behind
and a bin with Virgin Media, and then when someone gets thrown in the bin, there's loads of Virgin boxes.
Yeah, and everyone is wearing a Virgin t-shirt. It's a bit much in fairness.
But yeah, so kind of fucking Van Helsing gets killed. Sick Boy finds Mary, and they're like trying to get away from Dracula, and then the brides of Dracula show up, and
her flatmate gets involved. Yeah. Was like,
it turns out that Dracula, why he can't be killed is because he's actually Judas Iscariot, and that's why he doesn't like silver, because of 30 pieces of silver. He hates God.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't like the crosses. Not that they like vanquish him. It's just he just doesn't.
He's just I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm angry.
I don't like that bastard.
Yeah, and that's it. So you don't need to look at the movie.
Yeah,
it's kind of universally, or well, it critically got destroyed when it came out. Most people, I think, will say this is not a good movie, but it kind of is. I actually really liked it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, it seems to be very kind of like quintessentially early 2000s.
Exactly,
because the soundtrack and sort of the stylistics and sort of the odd quip here and there, and it just has, if you want. There's probably teenagers out there that are kind of like, oh, I want to be all retro and I want to go like Y2K. Watch this film and then have a think.
Well, the fucking thing is, when I went, after looking at it, I went on YouTube to look up, see if there's any facts or whatever about it, or people thought. There's not really many. Like, there's always this guy, Minty's comic. Oh, God, I can't think of his name. But he covers every film where it's like 10 things you didn't know about such and such a movie from the 80s and 90s. Nothing about this, but there was like, I think Joe Blogs Horror, or shit, I can't remember. Sorry, my memory is terrible. Covered it. But there's like about 5 people have a rip of Dracula 2000 up, the full movie up, where it's not even hidden.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's like one of them has like 7 million views.
Yeah, well, so that'll just go to show, though, I suppose, that it's like the actual production company are like, oh, couldn't be bothered doing a strike.
I think what it goes to show is that like 7 million people have looked at it on YouTube.
Well, there's a lot of idiots out there.
But there's still people watching it. You know what I mean? I think Dracula...
Did we watch it on YouTube?
No, we
didn't.
Are
people watching it ironically?
No, I think we actually have it on DVD.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You have it on DVD, I would imagine.
But it goes to, I think it's a cult movie, or it's going to be a cult movie, because like, not necessarily a good cult movie, not along the lines of The Evil Dead or anything like that, but like, there's certain cult movies that when they came out first, people were like, these are fucking awful. Blade Runner was one of them. Now, I'm not saying that Dracula 2000 is going to be held in the same regard as
necessarily mentioned it in
Blade
the same
Runner.
sentence, yeah.
But I do think that it's going to be one of those ones, either where it's so bad it's good, or people are going to, because new metal is coming back in, and this is very much a new metal movie.
Exactly.
Gerard Butler is, I quite like him as an actor. I think he's done some, he's just him.
Yeah.
There was someone that you knew went out with him years ago, and by all accounts he's just meant to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he comes across as that, and
Just
there's
nice
never
guy.
been any shit about him over the years. All the years he's done stuff, he's just always come across as a nice guy. And even I saw some behind the scenes footage of Dracula 2000, and a lot of people, I think, when they're put into that role where they're, oh, this is my first, they turn it, and he's just like laughing and joking and just seeing with the crew.
Yeah.
And he just you'd look at him and you kind of go, he just seems like a goofy, nice guy.
He's
like,
enjoying things.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's like, it's a cult movie that no one recognises really as a cult movie.
Do you think it's more of a Mystery Science Theatre kind of a cult movie?
I don't think it's that bad. There are some bits in it that are fucking atrociously bad in it, alright. But like, as a film overall, I don't think it's at that point where you go, oh my God, this is like,
well, I can
it's not the Room level.
But that's, I could imagine a very good riff tracks being done for this.
But it's...
Because there were parts now where we were going, oh my God, seriously? What?
Yeah, but I have bits marked down. I've like in my notes on the phone, and Sex on the Roof, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" There was like the one that plays Lucy in it. For some, Dracula shows up at their house, and he's like, "Oh, I
will seduce you." Yes.
So then she's like, "Oh, great, let's have a ride," and they end up like
floating around,
floating upside down, riding on the roof. Yeah.
The
now,
ceiling. Right,
the one that plays Lucy in it. My God, what's her name? It was, I can't see it there. But she was basically a pop star in the 2000s that did all those times we had to get vitamin C.
Yes. You have a lovely singing voice.
Yeah, but it's that. I'm like, when I saw that on the Joe Blow's that thing, I was like, what? Not that like that song, but that song was massive at the time.
It was, yes, you were clearly a big fan because it stuck with you.
Yeah, I was just really surprised, but you know, it was
proper early 2000s, like,
yeah,
kind of one of these films that, and as well, like, I mean, where's the Wes Craven Presents tag? Where does that fucking come from?
There was a load of
films
films at the time.
Or it's just stick Wes Craven's name on it?
That's what, yeah. Remember there used to be stuff like, I think, Stephen King Presents and stuff. Well, there wasn't Stephen King Presents. There was Clive Barker, I think, maybe Presents.
Well, I presume, did Wes Craven know he was presenting these things, or
I don't think
Wes Craven,
like, Wes Craven was involved in a lot of great horror films, but Wes Craven made a lot of shit as well, and I'd imagine as a producer he was just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. He probably didn't even have a say in it, because he was signed on to whatever fucking thing, and it's a fucking Weinstein production.
Yeah.
So I presume it was probably had some kind of connection to New Line or something.
And all the rest,
you know, that they would have been just like, all right, like, I mean, you're...
actually, he was an exec producer on the project.
Yeah, but that's because they probably turned around and said to him, look, we're saying that you're the fucking producer on this, and you give us money, or we'll give you a couple of quid and just slap your name on it. And he was probably, all right, I don't care. I forgot as well, yeah, Nathan Fillion is in it as a priest, as Mary's friend, and she's like, oh, tell me what, because the mother left Van Helsing when she found out what he was getting up to.
She was trying to take the baby away to protect the baby, kind of thing, and she's like, oh, tell me what was, my mother was spiritually tormented, could you tell me what? And he was like, no, I'm a priest, fuck off.
And it's really weird seeing Nathan Fillion. Like, I did not expect him to be, and it's really very, very brief thing. You kind of get the feeling that his character was probably bigger in it, or that there might have been a scene where they were in the church and Dracula walked in and he was like, "Oh, get out, Dracula!" and Dracula kicked him in the balls and went, "No, I won't."
But that wouldn't have been like Firefly would have been after that, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it would have been long
so
after
like
that.
This is, you know, he's not commanding that much screen time, I wouldn't imagine.
I know, but it was just weird seeing him in it. I thought,
especially as a priest.
Yeah, and according to Wikipedia, that Scott Derrickson thought that Harvey Weinstein thought that the script was terrible, but he only went ahead with making the movie because it was called Dracula 2000, and it was like, we'll get people in to see it anyway.
Catchy.
Which I think it did okay on the opening week, the first week, and it was one of those films, obviously, that people get. You know, they're like, oh, I got stung, you fuckers. Like,
you see, that's the thing. I think years ago you could actually, nearly every film, if there was any bit of a hype around it, it'd do fucking great guns on opening weekend, because the internet wasn't as big a thing, so you didn't have a load of people like sort of being able to see screeners and going, oh my god, this is a fist shit. Like, you know? There was so people were just going into these kind of films blind and then going, oh, that was rubbish.
Yeah, there was no that, and like, I mean, you were going on. So if they didn't do previews,
that was
for
like
certain TV shows, and like, I mean, most of the fucking TV shows, I think this is the thing that, like, one of the many reasons why Harvey Weinstein and that feared was that they would destroy careers of people. Like, I mean, there's a lot about Harvey Weinstein, kind of like, say, outside of like the horrific sexual predator stuff, as well, with just being like fucking giant asshole, and that's how they got like the Weinsteins ended up like dominating fucking Hollywood for a long time. But people like that, they would have fucking been able to turn around and say to TV, like, give it a good review, or you're fucked, or they'd have, like, you know, there was. It's like everything was so interlocked that you didn't really have many. Well, like, private individuals did not have access to.
That's what I mean. Like, like there's no, and it wasn't the fact that you could get, say, a journalist and stick up a screener online, and you know, loads of people have, or even like fucking.
No, it was before the internet even really wasn't.
That's why before the proper internet proper, I suppose, was just coming into its own around then. I suppose you know, you did have Napster and file sharing was starting up kind of around then, a little bit earlier and all the rest, but it still wasn't the way it is today, where like you can see a film like fucking 3 months before it comes out in the cinema.
As well, it was the time when trailers, the soundtrack of the movie, and as well the cast sold the movie. This is why it was really important back then with films to get the likes of Tom Cruise or fucking
it's the poster appeal.
And it was just like, oh, Tom Cruise is it must be good, like. So for a lot of people, it would, like, these people from TV shows, I'm sure there would have been people that were into that 70s show that would have went to see it.
Your man Masterton, whatever his name is.
I don't know. Yeah, fucking whatchamacallit, sure, Voyager would have been finished around this stage, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So they would have been like, oh, Jerry Ryan is in it, and then they would have went to it and went, oh, she's in it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, that's it.
And it's like she forgot how to act. But
actually, just you mentioned Tom Cruise there, I saw a photo online and it's kind of going around as like Tom Cruise is morphing slowly into Norm Macdonald right in front of our very eyes. And he's the absolute image of Norm Macdonald. I don't know what's going on.
This is what, like, I know people might be with the whole Scientology thing with Tom Cruise and stuff, but I think as an actor, Tom Cruise is after doing an awful lot over his career. He's probably our generation's him and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, split between them are like our generation's John Wayne or Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
I think they're giants. Their names aren't going to be forgotten. They've made classic movies that both continue to do so. Well, Arnie doesn't so much anymore.
And I suppose they're both kind of held in such high regard because they're both nuts enough to do a lot of their own stunts and like be their own sort of, action heroes.
But
kind of
as well, they've both aged gracefully. Tom Cruise does not have one bit of fucking plastic surgery on it. He doesn't. Sure? No, he doesn't.
Have you asked him?
Yep.
Yeah.
He told me, when he was giving me that personality test.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And did you have a personality?
No.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have, and like Arnie, the only fucking surgery that we know Arnie's had is like getting a pig heart put into and shit.
And lots of steroids. I didn't say that. Allegedly.
No, that's not alleged like at all. He's admitted that and all. Like, I mean, but it's where were we? Oh yeah, but just at that time with things and like with the soundtrack, I think, well, I didn't get the soundtrack. It was a friend of mine that was into metal that like the two of us used to nearly kind of share what we were going to buy between us for a long time on CD.
One and you buy the other kind of thing.
And before the movie came out, he got the soundtrack because there was a lot of really good soundtracks coming out at that time that were. But this is the first time I think we heard Linkin Park on it, and it was like the One Step Closer to the Edge video doing it, and it kind of exploded. And from what I can remember, they kind of changed the video where it was like vampires, ninjas fighting. So it didn't have like shots from Dracula 2000 in it, but it still was linked
referring back to it, yeah.
So I'd imagine that it did help the movie a lot, but like Pantera on it, Static X,
Slayer,
Headpiece, Taproot, who I always quite liked and I think are still going. Saliva,
yeah, Static X.
Yeah.
And who was the opener? Paramount 5000, wasn't it?
Paramount 5000. Yeah. Do you know who Paramount 5000 are?
What?
Do you know Paramount 5000?
I don't know him personally.
It's Rob Zombie's brother.
Yeah.
Frank Zombie. Yeah.
And Disturbed.
Yeah, and one of Slayer's best songs from that time, like
and it's like why nobody thought to put that in a vampire film previous to this, like Bloodline. It's just set up for a vampire film.
It was only out at the same time. I don't think they wrote it for it. Maybe they did. I don't think so.
It.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah, but there was fucking whatchamacallit, Monster Magnet they show in it, where Dracula's walking, eyes look up at the music video in New Orleans, and there's like, naked women running around and things blowing up, and he's like, cool. I like this. yeah, he's like Beavis and Butthead, cool. But the soundtrack is really good. I think it's still kind of holds up. It's not a fucking kind of like Crow level soundtrack.
No, God, no.
Or a Judgment Night soundtrack.
Or even a fucking Queen of the Damned soundtrack. That was fucking excellent.
It's not Queen of the Damned, but it's respectable. I think, especially for that time, because some of these things, like you have to remember as well, in a place like Ireland, say a band like Powerman 5000 weren't particularly, but it's probably the first time I listened to a band like that. Maybe not, but there would be people get like
music. Yeah, it was kind of like your sort of your sample tapes that you get with music magazines. You buy like sort of an OST, and you kind of go, oh geez, never heard of that band before. I'll buy their full album now. Like that, and then people get like. I suppose stymied into buying stuff like, do you remember Extreme More Than Words? And everyone was like, oh my god, that's a lovely love song, and then I was like, weird shitty metal. Yeah,
but as well, the whole thing with some of those soundtracks is they'd have maybe nearly songs from your favourite artists that were exclusive to the soundtrack. So on the Crow soundtrack, when that came out, like nearly all the songs in that were exclusive to that soundtrack. So 9 Inch Nails, Doing Dead Souls isn't on anything else. It's not on their album. You have to buy that soundtrack to get that song. Yeah, and like Pantera, The Badge, and fucking, but like most of the things. Whereas I think on this maybe it was like oh God, fucking, why can't I think of? They did the Metro, System of a Down, and like obviously Linkin Park's one wasn't exclusive to it, but like I mean, this is Linkin Park's were no one, was no ones at the time. So I do think that that probably did help.
Oh God, yeah.
A large part.
And that's the thing, the OSTs always really did help quite a lot, and it kind of bumped up the movie sales as well. Then they kind of supported each other, because that's the thing. It's not a thing anymore, really. Going into a record store is hardly a thing anymore. But like going and actually buying the OST, people are just like, I just stream it on Spotify.
But I remember, speaking of stupid fucking scenes in it, when Dracula walks into the record store, and this is like in the middle. It's meant to be Mardi Gras going on, and there's.
There's like literally not one.
There's not one man in there.
Yeah.
No, looking at the records.
Yeah, it's all women servers, looking at the records, and it's just they're all swooning as he walks past.
Oh, look at
he's
it,
so sexy. Look at his hair.
And it's just like, what fucking like in the in the 2000s, like the early it was like fucking stores. Yeah, but it was yourself. You mainly
You're not a woman.
It was
no.
I said yourself. It was mainly fucking like middle-aged men guys. Or teenagers, in just going through like vinyl.
You always have the women in buying the Britney and all that kind of stuff as well. Here's me being very, very stereotypical and sexist.
They wouldn't be in there the way that the people in there were like, oh my God. And at fucking 10 o'clock at night or whatever time it was meant to be. Yeah, that's true, yeah. When there's like parties going on outside in the street.
And people are like, I'll just browse and see if I can find some indie music.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not saying women don't buy music, but they don't.
Yes, but
they're too big. And in the early 2000s, because they would have been too busy being locked in the kitchen. Really? Cooking away for their like executive husbands, waiting for them to come home in their company cars.
Housewives,
and give them a good slap when they come in the door, just to kind of keep them on their toes. And kind of like, how come you got the wrong Britney Spears album, bitch? Yeah.
Yes, I've just had a horrible glimpse into your psyche there.
That's the way that I remember the early 2000s, listening to Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, well, clearly Dracula was a little bit 1950s male executive himself, because he was very much women.
Yeah, and like there's that weird thing with it, because he is not scary in any shape or form, and he just comes across it as, because it's Gerard Butler, and like it's the thing. Alright, he was like, good looking he's still a good looking man, but he still looks goofy, and especially when he does his smile. When he does his smile, he's not like Christopher Lee smiling.
He looks friendly.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he looks like a Muppet smiling, kind of going, ah. Like, I mean, that was the thing why Leonidas was so kind of, I think, in 300. Where because he's friendly looking, yeah, and it's like, he can fight, and then he kicks him, but he's still friendly. He's like, this is the Centra, or spar.
Fucking hell. Okay, poor Gerard Butler. My God.
No, but that's the thing. He doesn't look like a villain.
No, he doesn't look threatening. Yeah. He doesn't look like. In fairness, he's played a lot of sort of like serious-ish parts. Like, what was that fucking Olympus Has Fallen, or what was that?
Yeah, I think those action
one of those
movies,
storming.
But no, I'm not saying he's a bad. Like, I mean, this is one of his first fucking roles, but I think he was probably badly cast. He was cast on his looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite obviously, and it's like. It'd be like in wrestling, where there's some people they're natural heels and some natural baby face. I think Gerard Butler is a natural baby face. He's a natural hero. Yeah, that you don't put him in the role of
the villain, of the sneery villain, because he doesn't sneer, he just smiles. Yeah,
that's why there's a ordinary not ordinary decent criminal, but oh God, remember the thing where he's basically like getting revenge on people that killed his wife, and the system, law-abiding citizen. Yeah. We'll definitely cover that film at some stage. Fucking brilliant film. Apart from the last 10 minutes of it, where it's like, this goes against everything this character has been doing. Just to turn it into a Saw type movie, because Saw was doing well at the time, and it's like, this goes, because it's actually better than any of the fucking remakes that they tried to do of Death Wish. And a large part of that is because of Gerard Butler. Yeah. Because Gerard Butler is so likeable, and he does come across as an ordinary guy that's put into
this horrible position.
Yeah, and he's like Batman. He would have made a great Batman, I think, at one stage. Yeah. But yeah, and just with him fucking going into, he's just, if they had someone different, and I think they had Rutger Hauer in one of the sequels.
You see, that is somebody who I would be sort of, he's sinister enough, do you know what I mean? He's got that otherworldly kind of quality to him. As I said, like Gerard Butler, all the women are swooning over him, but he wasn't being like, creepy Dracula, seductive. He was just like, hi.
And even at the end when he's like telling her about, I'm Judas and stuff, you kind of empathise with him a little bit, and he actually looks better as Judas. He looks more creepy as Judas when they do the flashback thing than he does as Dracula. And then I have to say as well, I think probably Blade 3 would have been, fucking out. No, maybe it would have been out a good bit after that actually. But like Dracula in Blade 3 is nothing compared. The Dracula in 2000 is far better than fucking Drac or Drake, isn't that what they call him? In that.
Well, in fairness, there's a few kind of stylistic shots in this as well that I was like, actually, that's quite nice.
It's well shot.
So I kind of went back to, sort of being hanged in the garden, I guess, or whatever the hell it was. That was just a really nice kind of a very artistic shot.
Yeah.
Which is takes you by surprise.
It's shot really well. I know when we started off, I was saying like, Patrick Lussier, he's been involved in a lot of bad movies. He kind of has been. They're not like fucking Oscar-winning movies or Oscar-worthy movies.
But they're movies.
But they're movies. But they're well shot movies. Yeah. Like, I really liked the sequel to White Noise. It's a very different film from the first movie, which had fucking
Kiefer Sutherland.
No, Michael Keaton in it. That was more of a thing about. Remember, it was like he kept seeing the trio, and they were like basically nasty spirits. That's really, really good. White Noise Light had. He's a chap. He was in EastEnders, and I think he was in a lot of those fucking kind of football hooligan movies. Nathan Fillion.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there's another fella in it, fucking Craig Fairbrass, yeah. And I seem to remember it being fairly fucking scary, and like surprisingly good. But that was a movie and My Bloody Valentine 3D, very good. Drive Angry, really good as well, actually. That's fucking very underrated with Nick Cage in it.
I love the way you're just kind of like, all these rubbish films. Actually, this film is brilliant.
They would be considered rubbish by other people. Terminator Genesis, I actually quite like that as well.
I like all the Terminators anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like I fucking got lost going through these fucking films, but it's nowhere near as bad. And I do think that people, if they can look back at it without the whole thing of it being like the critics' opinion of it, where people are like, this is a bad movie, and actually just look at it and kind of go, look, this wasn't meant to be some Oscar-worthy piece of shit. This is meant to be a fun movie. Like,
go to the cinema and watch it, and and nowadays as well, if you're around then, it's pure nostalgia for the 2000s. If you weren't around then, watch it and you'll probably get the vibe of the 2000s. Yeah,
it's just a fun fucking movie. Like, you look at it, it's not going to change your life. You walk away from it and you'll remember bits and pieces of it. I think that there is a lot of wasted potential with it. I think the script could have been quite good, or the whole element with him being Judas. Whoever added that bit into it, they're obviously after doing their whole research, because there is this whole thing that like vampires used to be called children of Judas. That it was that vampires originated from, or maybe not even originated, but Judas ended up becoming a vampire, and there was like certain markers associated with Judas. So it was someone that they obviously put the work in. And maybe that was fucking... No, it wasn't in Anne Rice's thing. But as well, they were saying that it was like stuff thrown into it to try and capitalise on Interview with the Vampire's popularity at the time as well, like it being set in New Orleans.
New Orleans,
yeah. But it's early 2000s. I seem to remember like Interview with the Vampire was big in the 90s. Near the end of the 2000s, because there was always a lot of talk about like there being the sequel to the film, and even before, like it took a long time for that film to be fucking made. And Anne Rice, even when like Interview with the Vampire was made, was like before it came out, she was shitting all over. She didn't think Tom Cruise should have been playing Lestat, and she was very vocal about it. And she was nearly trying to
block it.
Well, not block it, destroy the film even before it came out. I get the fan base riled up and turned it, and then it came out and she was like, oh my god, Tom Cruise is perfect for it. It's actually really good. And it's like, maybe you should have waited to see it before you started. You got paid plenty of fucking money for the rights for it, so shut the fuck up.
Poor Anne Rice.
Yeah, but no, I know you can be protective, like if you're after creating
it's your
something.
baby, like,
but at the same point, if you sell it on, you're giving it to other people.
You have to give it to other people for their interpretation of it.
Like that happens with like a lot of people that are making comics or fucking cartoons or films. You're hired in to do it. You do the job, and like.
That's it.
You have to be able
somebody
to
else's
detach.
vision then as well.
If you don't want to fucking do it, don't accept the millions and millions.
But that's the thing. Like everybody reading a book will have a different vision in their head. Like I mean, there are some, I suppose, commonalities, I suppose, that everyone will have. But like everyone will conjure up a slightly different image in their head. So it's just interesting to see other people's interpretation.
Well, what was really weird was Queen of the Damned is an awful film. Like Laura was saying, the soundtrack is amazing
phenomenal,
to it.
yeah.
But all the cast are spot on with how they should look like in the fucking thing. Like Armand in it is like Armand in the books. He's kind of young, not necessarily a child, not like not like Kirsten, fucking
Dunst.
Character. But jeez, I can't remember her name. But he's like say maybe a teenager.
Every time I hear that name, and it's just all
the Tic Tacs.
Yeah. Teeth throwing Tic Tacs. They're like Tic Tacs throwing gang signs. Jesus Christ. I'm not dissing on Kirsten Dunst. That was just a whole Jimmy Kimmel
She was
bit.
brilliant in Civil War, actually. But it's the whole thing, and they have him as a like teenage boy in it, whereas like it was Antonio Banderas in the thing where he's like a grown man and he doesn't even have auburn hair because I can't remember if he was meant to be Sumerian. Or Egyptian or something, but he's like meant to be Middle Eastern kind of from that. Like he's meant to be like one of the ancient vampires in it. But like in the thing, the Queen of the Damned, they all look fucking spot on like for it.
So you're saying they all don't look spot on in this?
What? What the fucking are you on about? None of these are in.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Or I'm trying to bring it back around to Dracula 2000. You were saying Gerard Butler doesn't look like Dracula?
He does a bit. Like, but they have that shot of where he gets captured back in the fucking, I don't know, the 1800s or the 1700s. It's meant to be. And he's got the cape on him, and he's like walking down the street, and he's like, bleh. And he does have a bit of it, but he's too smiley.
Yeah, he's nice, Dracula.
Yeah, where it's just like, you'd be like, he might drink an old woman's blood, but he'd probably help her across the road at the same time.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it's. I never asked you, what did you actually think of it?
I enjoyed it. Again, it's one of these forgettable films though as well. It's something you throw on if you're just have a quiet night in, have a bit of popcorn, sit down with a drink or something like that. And it's a weeknight movie to, go to sleep to, I suppose. It's not a movie that you're going to like bring everyone around and go, oh my god, let's sit down and have a whole big watching event like a Star Wars party or something like that. It's just something to throw on. Nothing else on the telly. We'll throw this on. Yeah, it's a bit nostalgic, like that's what I found.
It would be for us, like because we would have been like
teenagers at that time. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, late teens, early 20s, our formative years. I suppose. Yeah,
but it's. I don't know. Like I was saying, I do think it's kind of a cult movie. There's a lot of kind of not great cult movies that are like cult movies, and they're cult because they are actually okay. Like as well, it was the sequels. Don't look at the sequels; they're like awful. We looked at the sequels years and years ago, and they were. I can remember that they were bad enough. Where it was like I think the third one just like goes totally fucking up. Where it's like set in the far future. It's meant to be a sci-fi film, and I'm fairly sure it's Rutger Hauer or Hauer is Dracula in it, and he's awful in it. Yeah, Rutger Hauer isn't that much of it. People always think Rutger Hauer,
I think,
but he doesn't play creepy in a lot of things. Like, if you ever see interviews with him, like Rutger Hauer was like a really, really nice, friendly dude. And it was just because of Blade Runner and a few things people had this image of him. Like, but even you think Roy Batty in Blade Runner was actually really, really nice. Like he fucking saved Harrison Ford at the end, and he could have killed him, and he could have, where it's like this was the whole thing where they were like, oh my god, look, this is. That gave that layer of humanity to like the synthetics in it, but
I was waiting for you
don't bother with the sequels if you're going to look at it. They are awful. And as well, it was quite. I kind of get the feeling at the end of it that they were setting it up for maybe a TV series, because it does feel like the very end of it like nearly a pilot. That it was a common thing, probably from the 70s and the 80s. Sometimes they do a movie as a pilot for a TV show.
Then they'd run with it.
And it's like where she's like, oh, I'm a Van Helsing now, but she's like still a vampire thing. So you don't. So it's like, oh, they're going to go off hunting a different monster every week with fucking sick boys. Yeah, what's going on? Why are we here? Renton. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's our opinion. And if you've gotten this far, thank you very much for listening.
Indeed.
Please subscribe. Tell your friend. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't subscribe.
Yeah. Maybe, or tell your friends.
Maybe you only like this one, and the rest of our things are absolute dog shit that you have no interest in listening to. And you're just a Dracula 2000 fan.
Mega
you're
fan.
Like,
yeah.
All right. The next show they're going to be talking about fucking some shit from the 70s.
The Spud family from Boston.
I was trying to think of a fucking Kramer versus Kramer. You know, I was trying to think of that.
I don't think we're ever going to be talking about something as highbrow as that now, in fairness.
Is that highbrow?
Yeah, it's a bit more highbrow than Dracula 2000.
I don't know. It depends on who. There's probably more real drama in Dracula 2000 and more authentic drama. There was something we were looking at a while ago, and I remember we looked up who was in it. Oh, it was fucking the last episode of It's Always Sunny where they had like someone playing like basically Hawk Tuah.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, I was like, because you couldn't really make out who she was, and it was like, oh, she must be some like stand-up comedian or some famous comedian, and she was like some Juilliard.
Yeah, trained actor.
Yeah, and I was like, oh god. But yeah, look, thanks for listening. Come back next week. We'll be talking shit about more.
Shit.
And, yeah. So
Until then,
goodbye.
What?